What's up, Sooner Nation? Happy Saturday. Welcome to the Sooner Surge for a little basketball preview as the Sooners today open up Big 12 play. Their last trek through the Big 12 begins tonight, 5 o'clock tip in Norman at the LNC, hoping for an elite crowd there tonight as the Sooners take on the Iowa State Cyclones, a team that's 11-2, has some big wins on the year. I mean, absolutely destroyed Iowa, beat DePaul by 20, close losses really against A&M and Virginia Tech. So this is going to be a test. It's a high-scoring team. They score in the 80s and 90s often. Got some guys back and a mixture of new guys on the Iowa State squad and very well coached. So Porter Moser and company are going to have their hands full. It's a must win. If you want to finish in the top half of the Big 12, you got to be winning your home games, especially against Iowa State.
Yeah, Iowa State's a team I'm shocked they're not ranked. At
Yeah.
11-2, with how much respect the Big 12 has, especially adding in Houston and BYU that are two top 10 teams right now. At 11-2, and like Jeremy mentioned, two close losses, you would think Iowa State's ranked, but they're not. And again, you have to win at home in the Big 12. 8 or 9 is the magic number that gets you in the tournament, especially with this non-conference schedule that the Sooners only had one loss. That was to North Carolina. So you got to win these home games because it's not getting any easier. I mean, you have Kansas next weekend at Fog Allen Fieldhouse. So you have to win this game to start Big 12 play 1-0.
Yeah, you guys both hit it right on the head, and they are extremely well coached. I love their coach. I think he was a great hire a few years ago, and they play really good basketball, team basketball. And Jeremy, you mentioned earlier about the crowd. Students are not back yet. OU needs a good crowd there. Students aren't back till next weekend, so I'm interested to see what the crowd's like. I know they were doing, I think, $5 tickets just to try to get a lot of people out there, and hopefully it happens. But what I want to see from the Sooners today is I don't want to see them tighten up because it's Big 12 play. And I think if you look at the first 2 years under Porter, they seem to, like, even last year and the year before when they were struggling and they would go out of conference to play the SEC Challenge, they would look really good. And you're like, what's going on? Are they tightening up for Big 12? I hope not. And I don't think that'll be the case. I think they got a lot more athletic scorers. They got good defenders. I wouldn't see that happening, but hopefully they can pull out a win today because, like you said, you really can't start Big 12 play 0-1 with the home loss. I think that would, especially, and I don't think if you talk to Porter Moser and this team, I mean, yeah, their goals are to make the NCAA tournament, but I think the way they've played in the non-con, I think their goal is to finish in the top half of the Big 12, and you're not doing that by losing home games.
It's absolutely their goal. It has to be their goal. They're a good enough team to do it this year without even, and it's not a stretch to say that. I will say that Iowa State's going to come in feeling slighted, as Hunter said. They're not ranked. They're gonna have that attitude, that mentality, stepping into LNC. And let's be honest, guys. I know we're Sooner fans here. I've been to several games at LNC. It's not the most hostile environment. It's not a scary place to play. So I know there's opposing teams who on their schedule say, we need to steal a few road games. Let's see where those are at. And they probably circle this one because it's gettable a lot of times. The crowd has to be good. And OU has to really focus on, in my opinion, two things. They have to limit turnovers. They can't be a turnover machine tonight. Take care of the basketball. They will be tough to beat. And the second thing is, I think if you look at the schedule this year and the games of this season, when they have really just put teams away, when they've really done really well, they've shared the basketball. Their assists are up. So, and of course, some of that comes with making shots. But I think, look, share the basketball and don't turn it over. And they're going to be sitting pretty tonight.
Yeah, my biggest thing for tonight, you got to start fast. You cannot start slow against a team to the caliber of Iowa State. And that could be said about really every Big 12 team. The past 2 games, really 3 games, you include North Carolina in it, Central Arkansas and Monmouth. They started slow, which they won 2 of them. They lost to North Carolina in that Jumpman Invitational. So you cannot start slow against really good teams like Iowa State. You got to start early, got to share the ball like Jerem said, got to get Javion McCollum going and let him kind of take over like the star player he is for the Sooners.
Well, and if you go back to last year, remember last year, Sherfield was great before Big 12 play, and then like it just kind of leveled off, and you hope that's not going to be the case. Jalen Moore right now is playing better than he was early in the year. McCollum's still been good, so I think they're going to be steady. If you look at Iowa State, and they're kind of a little bit like OU in the fact that they got a lot of different guys. I mean, just the guards. I think Lipsy and gosh, I can't think of the other guard's name, but then you got King at forward. He's good. I mean, they got 2 or 3 guards and a forward that are scorers. I mean, there's been multiple times this year where they've almost all scored in the 20s. I mean, so
yeah, they have 3 guys scoring over 13 a game. Gibson as well, or other guards.
Gibson.
So.
That's it. Lipsy,
Gilbert, I'm sorry, Gilbert, Keyshawn Gilbert, and
Gilbert,
then
Lipsy, and King.
Yeah. They have 4 total scores over 10 a game. They score more points a game than the Sooners do. They also allow less points a game than the Sooners do. So, again, a really well-rounded Iowa State team. That's one that I expect to see in the postseason and the tournament.
Yeah, Jeremy, you're muted. Hey, I would agree, Hunter. And if you look at the past under Porter Moser, where they've really struggled is turnovers. And if you look at games where they struggle in it, it's usually because they're turning the ball over a lot. Now, I will say they got more ball handlers this year than they've had the last 2 years under Porter. So, but there's been games this year where they've struggled in that same aspect. So, and also OU, if OU's hitting the 3-pointer, they're tough to beat. Guys like Darthard, Suarez, when they get in, Darthard needs to be hitting open threes. So you got to be making those if you're wanting to just, I think, finish teams off in the Big 12.
And the other thing is Lipsy, guys. There's been games this year. Lipsy's their leading rebounder and assist guy as well.
He's a good player.
Lipsy can do everything. And it's going to be, I think, intriguing who OU puts on him. OU can pretty much switch at every position. They can switch. They have enough athletes out there who can guard 1s and 5s on the floor. But Hughley is someone who's kind of disappeared a little bit. I hope that he has this as they step into the Big 12 and kind of a renewed type of game coming on tonight. But Jay, as Hunter said, something's got to give. Iowa State can score, and they're really good defensively, and OU's really good defensively. I don't think this game gets in the 80s tonight. I don't think there's a chance it gets in the 80s. It's going to be a grind.
You think? I don't know. I mean, who do you guys have as the player of the game for Oklahoma tonight?
If the Sooners are going to win, Javion McCollum has to take over. He's the best player on this team, one of the best players in the country. You kind of got to rely on that guy. He's done it in the big games so far, other than North Carolina. So I would say McCollum, player of the game for the Sooners.
Jay,
I would go with. I think I'm going to go with Milos Uzan. I think Uzan's going to have a really good game tonight, and that I think it's Big 12 play. He's been through the grind, Hunter and Jared. He's been through it for a year, so I think he's going to step up tonight. I would say him or Owe, but I'm going to go with Uzan.
Okay, and look, I'm going to not pick a player. I'm going bench. Suarez, Darthard, Hughley. I think those 3 guys combined could be the determining factor. What the bench gives them tonight. So that's what I think. Drop your comments in the chat here in the comments. Who's your MVP for tonight for the Sooners as they take on the Iowa State Cyclones? Are you making the trek to Norman? We are. May see you there. 5 o'clock tip. OU versus Iowa State. It's a great time of year as Big 12 play starts off. Exciting time as the road to March begins, and OU's in great position heading there. So let's get the first dub of Big 12 play tonight. Appreciate you watching our videos. If you're not subscribed, please do so. Turn on your notifications, like and comment. And until next time, guys, Boomer.
Sooner.